Greetings, fellow learners. Welcome to IziCodeCraft. Let's turn our experiences into lessons. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the journey. 3 Web Dev Careers Decoded. Front-end versus back-end versus full stack. We're here for the third and last assignment of the Introduction to Web Development at the Odin Project. This one is to read this Udacity's blog post on front-end, back-end, and full-stack developers. So, I'm going to read it and try to add any other thought or note that I think it's necessary or helpful for us to clear out all these concepts. Let's start with it. You open a new browser tab, type in a URL, and press enter. The site loads instantly. It nearly takes your breath away with its ultra-clean layout, well-constructed pages, and impressive visuals. The people responsible for every part of that experience? Web developers. As of June 2021, the internet contains more than 1.8 billion websites. And counting. Yeah, it's been almost 3 years from this article then, so it sure is much more now. Talk about some serious job security for web developers, the people responsible for coding, building, analyzing, and maintaining all those websites. Websites are now a critical component for any business to stay competitive. And as web development trends and best practices change practically with the season, there's no shortage of work for developers. But how do you know exactly what kind of web development work to seek out and train for? If you've poked around on job listing sites or browsed through online courses, you've probably gathered that web development tends to break down into 3 main concentrations: front-end developer, back-end developer, and full-stack developer. If you've dabbled in HTML, JavaScript, or maybe a little Python, but you're not quite sure which path to venture out on, this handy breakdown is for you. Before we really start with the core info, I think I spoke about this before on other episodes, but for me I think we, as beginners, kinda need to start with everything, so it would be with full stack development. Obviously if we go by little and on the details, we would start with front end, cause we should start with HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. But that's like the first 1 or 2 steps, then learning the server side to me that would be the beginning still, so in general, it would be full stack. After all those basics, I think we would be able to choose a specific path, if we want. What is a front-end developer? The front end of a website is the part that users interact with. Everything that you see when you're navigating around the internet, from fonts and colors to drop-down menus and sliders, is a combo of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript being controlled by your computer's browser. Skills and tools required for front-end development. Front-end developers are responsible for a website's user-facing code and the architecture of its immersive user experience design. In order to execute those objectives, front-end devs must be adept at 3 main languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript programming. In addition to fluency in these languages, front-end devs need to be familiar with frameworks like Bootstrap, Foundation, Backbone, AngularJS, React.js, and Ember.js, which ensure great-looking content no matter the device, and libraries like jQuery and less, which package code into a more useful, time-saving form. So, don't be too scared cause those are too much frameworks, or too much things to learn. As you begin you will start with learning the basics of JavaScript, then you can learn 1 or 2 frameworks of those. With that you can already build things, and very capable things too. Once you want or need to learn other frameworks you will see that the knowledge you built already will help you on learning the others, cause in the end they all have similar things or maybe different ways of doing the same thing. So learning one will help on learning others. It won't be that complex as it might seem now. A lot of front-end developer job listings also call for experience with Ajax, a widely used technique for using JavaScript that lets pages dynamically load by downloading server data in the background. A front-end dev is responsible for the interior design of a house that's been built by a back-end dev. Using these tools, front-end developers work closely with designers or user experience analysts to bring mockups, or wireframes, from development to delivery. Strong front-end developers can also accurately identify specific issues in user experience and provide recommendations and codified solutions to influence the design. It's also important to fluidly partner with other teams across the business to understand specific goals, needs, and opportunities and then execute on those directives. This is more insight on what a front-end developer has to do in his day-to-day work. This can help if you are in doubt on what path to choose on. It's a lot of responsibility, but it can be very rewarding. I'm a technical person, but still a visual person, and being able to manipulate what we see and interact with on digital platforms through markup and code came naturally, just said Mikey Alagan, a front-end developer with 8 years of experience. To that point, I love being able to make an impact on the user interface, the aspects of an app or website that the user interacts with and sees. In all, a front-end dev is responsible for the interior design of a house that's been built by a back-end dev. The taste and style of the decor is dictated by the homeowner. As Greg Matranga, Director of Product Marketing at Aptix, said of the team of both front-end and back-end developers he oversees, the developers that work on the front end are sometimes more excited about what they do because they're really able to leverage their creativity. Okay, that's interesting. How it translates. Everything you're seeing on this website right now was made possible by a front-end developer. A designer created the logo and graphics, a photographer took the pictures, and a copywriter wrote the text. But a front-end dev assembled all of those pieces, translated them into WebSpeak, and built the experience you have with each page. Nice. Very well summarized. What is a back-end developer? So what makes the front end of a website possible? Where is all that data stored? This is where the back end comes in. The back end of a website consists of a server, an application, and a database. A back-end developer builds and maintains the technology that powers those components which, together, enable the user-facing side of the website to even exist in the first place. Skills and tools required for back-end development. In order to make the server, application, and database communicate with each other, back-end devs use server-side languages like PHP, Ruby, Python, Java, and .NET to build an application, and tools like MySQL, Oracle, and SQL Server to find, save, or change data and serve it back to the user in front-end code. Again, don't be discouraged by so much languages or tech tools. They are enumerated, but they usually are used alone. Like for example, if you use PHP you won't use Ruby or Python, because they will be used for the same thing logically. So with one server-side language and a database tool, you can make a lot of good projects already. Job openings for back-end developers often also call for experience with PHP frameworks like Zend, Symfony, and Cake PHP, experience with version control software like SVN, CVS, or Git, and experience with Linux as a development and deployment system. These are good things to know, like if you know a specific server-side language, you should know a couple of related frameworks to work with. In regards to version control software, you will mainly work with Git. There are others still used, but Git is the main and the most popular one. Back-end devs use these tools to create or contribute to web applications with clean, portable, well-documented code. But before writing that code, they need to collaborate with business stakeholders to understand their particular needs, then translate those into technical requirements and come up with the most effective and efficient solution for architecting the technology. I've always preferred back-end development because I love manipulating data, said longtime back-end developer JP Toto, who's currently a software developer for Wildbit. Recently, public and private APIs have become an essential part of trading data between mobile devices, websites, and other connected systems. Creating APIs that the public finds useful is a very satisfying part of my job. How it translates. When you navigated to this website, the Udacity servers sent information to your computer or mobile device, which turned into the page you're seeing right now. That process is the result of a back-end developer's work. In addition, if you enroll in a Udacity course or nano degree, the storage of your personal information, and the fact that each time you return to the site and log in, your data is called up, is attributable to a back-end developer. Nice. Again, the process is very well described. What is a full-stack developer? There's often not a black and white distinction between front-end and back-end development. Front-end developers often need to learn those additional back-end skills, and vice versa, especially in the current economy where marketing is thinly resourced, said Matranga. Developers need some of that cross-discipline. Oftentimes, you have to be a generalist. So, basically a full-stack developer is a front-end and back-end developers combined. Full-stack developers are jacks of all trades. Enter the full-stack developer. The role was popularized by Facebook's engineering department. The idea is that a full-stack developer can work cross-functionally on the full stacky of technology, i.e. both the front-end and back-end. Full-stack developers offer the full package. Working on both the server-side and client-side professionally opens more opportunities, said Federico Ulfo, full-stack developer at Grovo. But, of course, full-stack development isn't without its challenges. To make an analogy with food, you can be good at cooking or good at baking, but mastering both takes time and experience. And I'm not talking about following a recipe, anyone can do that. I'm talking about having the ingredients to prepare something truly good. Yes, That as always only comes with time. Good practice and experience and, obviously, time. Skills and tools required for full-stack developers. Full-stack developers work, like back-end devs, on the server side of web programming, but they can also fluently speak the front-end languages that control how content looks on a site's user-facing side. They're jacks of all trades. To illustrate the increasing complexity of full-stack development, here's an example of what a full stack might have looked like in recent years, compared to the current moment. The oldest stack would be HTML, CSS. Then PHP, Python or Ruby as the server-side language. MySQL would be the database solution and Amazon would be used to manage the deploy and versioning of the project too. The more recent one would be HTML, CSS, then we would have iOS and Android for the mobile apps. Scala, I think it's a server-side language. The machine learning is related with AI development and implementations. Amazon again as the management for the deploy and a lot more utilities regarding the code and the project. And MongoDB would be the database solution. Regardless of the specific tools, dependent on the project or client at hand, full-stack developers should be knowledgeable in every level of how the web works. Setting up and configuring Linux servers, writing server-side APIs, diving into the client-side JavaScript powering an application, and turning a design IP to the CSS. Using these tools, full-stack developers need to be able to immediately identify the client and server-side responsibilities of a solution and articulate the pros and cons of various solutions. How it translates. A full-stack developer would be responsible for the entire flow of your experience with this blog post, from its load time and layout to its interactiveness and structural underpinnings. The bottom line. Web development has many faces. But no matter the type of development you're thinking of pursuing, soft skills like attention to detail, ability to learn quickly, ability to solve problems efficiently, business training, and strong communication will stand you in good stead on top of the hard skills outlined above. Happily, there's never been a better time to pursue a career in web development. Employment of web developers is projected to grow 8% between 2019 and 2029, much faster than the average for all occupations. Awesome. So, that was the third assignment. I feel that we spent some good time on these assignments. Hopefully we gain the knowledge we need to on web development and maybe even more of what would be necessary for a beginner, I think. We still have some additional resources, but I think we already had some good work, and so I will leave you guys on the other end to explore those resources. Maybe later I can review all of this and go more on the detail if you guys want, but I'm starting to feel that I want to get to the code already. But, yeah, I know these basics are important, so let's finish this and go on the right path with the Odin Project. Let's mark this lesson as complete, and in the next episodes we will start with a brand new lesson. Finally, right? Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.